So I'm Sean, and then this is gonna be your guys' Belmont rapid infuser, mass transfusion, real bad bleeder, something like that. You'd grab this machine with it. It's all gonna be loaded dry with the machine turned off, so ignore this bag of fluid and ignore any fluid you see inside there because that wouldn't be there yet. But when you first open up the packaging, double check this dark blue lure lock and double check this one right here. Especially this one, make sure it's tight. Comes loose for any reason, you're gonna be shooting blood onto the floor very quickly, so double check, make sure it's tight. And then when you take it out of the packaging, grab by the filter, grab by the heat exchanger. And the reason why I say that is once you clip that on right there, and then this with the arrow pointing up goes right here. And now your hands are free. So you can kind of see where everything's gonna go from this point, and it's all color coded. This will sit right where this yellow dot is. And then in between those two black bars, there's an air detection sensor. So press that tubing in real good that you can run your hand over those two bars and not feel the tubing. You just wanna make sure it's nice and flush with that air detection sensor. And then over here, blue to blue, then with this block with the arrow pointing towards the machine, it's gonna go in right here. It doesn't click or anything, but it'll sit in there nicely. And then you just make sure your tubing's all tucked in. And if you feel like you can close this door without smashing or breaking anything, you set it up correctly. So go ahead and close the door, latch it closed, turn the machine on the back, flip that switch all the way up. It's doing a self-check at this point. When it's done with the self-check, it's gonna tell you to prime it. That's when you get your bag of fluid. Normal saline or plasma light. Don't use LR, don't use dextrose, nothing with calcium. So normal saline or plasma light, get it, spike it, let this reservoir fill up a bit, about halfway, and then you're gonna hit prime. So you're priming the inside of the machine. It's counting down right there for you, just let it do its thing. But the machine will take all the air out for you. So you don't need to burp any bags, you don't need to back prime any lines. The machine will take all the air out for you. So we just prime the inside of the machine, still got our primer patient line. Everything with this machine is mLs per minute. I know our mine's automatically go mLs per hour, but everything with this machine is mLs per minute. So if you press prime patient line once, you get 50 mLs per minute. If you press and hold, you get 200 mLs per minute. I always recommend the faster option because if you need this machine, you need it quickly. So press and hold down that prime patient line button. You're looking for air. And then once you get all that air out, you're satisfied that there is no more air inside your patient line, you can let go, hit stop. Now you're ready to connect it to the patient. It's a standard lure lock connection, connected hub to hub. No J loops, no microclaves, nothing like that. Those are flow restrictors. If you want rapid infusion, you don't want flow restrictions, so hub to hub. J loops honestly aren't that big of a deal. Thicker tubing, not that big of a deal, but if it's thin tubing, take it off. But any microclave, saline lock, whatever you guys call this guy, take it off. These are huge deals. They're gonna restrict your flow to less than 50 mLs per minute. It is super important to take off the microclaves. And if you could take out the J loop as well, absolutely take out the J loop as well. Make sure you at least take off that microclave though. So you connected it to your patient. Now you can get your blood and spike it. All three of these can be open and running at the same time. If you're not using the line, keep it clamped off so you're not wearing any of the blood. And if the doctor doesn't want no more fluid, you can just clamp this off. Pack red blood cells, FFP is okay. Don't use cryo, don't use platelets. Those can't go through a heater. This machine has a heater. You're kind of destroying your product as you're sending it through. Good rule of thumb is if it comes in a cooler, you can use it. If it doesn't come in a cooler, don't put it through this machine. So you connected it to your patient, you connected your blood, you're ready to infuse. Excuse me. Hit infuse. Set rate is the rate that you want. Actual rate's the actual rate that you're getting. This is the volume you've introduced into the patient since you hit infuse. If you have to chart that before you turn the machine off, because once you turn the machine off, it's gone forever. This box right here is just telling you what the machine is doing. Temperature of the fluid as it's coming out, has an algorithm to keep it at normothermic range. Can't mess with it, but as trust your patient's gonna get their fluid within normothermic range. This is the back pressure on your lines. The machine won't let you stay above 300 mercuries of pressure because they don't want you blowing your lines. I'm gonna demonstrate that for you in a minute. Then everything on this bottom row, those are all your function keys. Arrows will go up and down by 10. If you press and hold, it goes up and down by 10, just a lot faster. If you want to instantly start rapid infusing, just hit this 500 key right here. Let your line decide your rate for you. I'll demonstrate that for you in a minute as well, so that makes sense. And then if for any reason you have to give a bolus to your patient, press and hold down this bolus key and it'll cycle through all your bolus options. You can give 100 ml bolus, 200, 400, 500, or 1,000. Once you see the rate that you want to give, you just let go. It'll bolus that much into your patient. It's counting up right there, and then when it gets the amount that you selected, it'll take you back to this main screen. And then if for any reason you have to stop giving blood for an extended period amount of time, let's say 15, 20 minutes, hit that recirculation key. What that does is it clamps off the patient line and it'll keep your blood moving through here and here. Just keeps it moving in a circle, just so your blood's not sitting there stagnant, clotting up. When you're in recirculation, your patient isn't actually getting anything. So when you're done with that, you want to start infusing again, just hit a different key, get out of it, reset your rates, go back to what you're doing. Now I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, where the machine won't let you blow in your lines and let your line decide your rate for you. I got this 18 gauge right here. I'm gonna try to get 500 mLs per minute. It's not gonna happen because it's an 18 gauge, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Then, like I said, if you want to instantly start rapid infusing, this is all you gotta do right here. So hook it up to the patient, hit infuse, hit that 500 key. Then, like I said, set rate is the rate that you want, actual rate's the actual rate that you're getting. 500 mLs per minute is gonna be too much for the 18, so I'm gonna see my pressure start to climb right there. Once the machine realizes it's gonna stay above that 300 mercuries of pressure, it's gonna tell me I'm pressure control and I need to readjust my rates. I'm gonna blow my line. So we're getting above that 300 mercuries of pressure. It says infusing and pressure control. Press set rates to match the actual rate. That's when you go over here, hit the word set rate. Then that will bring it down to a safe option that stays underneath that 300 mercuries of pressure. That's also what I'm talking about, where you let your line decide your rate for you. So with this 18 gauge, we got 190 mLs per minute. That's pretty good. A bag of blood will be gone in like 2-3 minutes. So if you're satisfied with that, just keep moving, keep working. You want something faster, put something bigger in. The only time you want to hit that 500 key is if you're using like an IO or a 20. Using an IO, don't try to slam 500 into your IO because you're going to block up that IO before the machine realizes you're going to block up your IO. I'll save you the whole big long spiel, but long story short, don't use an IO unless you absolutely have to. And when it comes to a 20, you're not going to get anywhere near 500 mLs per minute. Don't quote me because every patient's different, but you probably get like 50 or 60 mLs per minute. So you would just hit the up keys, go to 50, try to get yourself some better access, switch it over to that. This machine will go as low as 2.5 mLs per minute or as fast as 1,000 mLs per minute. If you want to achieve those fast rates, you need something like a cordis or a sheath, or some people call them trauma lines, just those single IJs. So if you have a doctor that's nice enough for you to put those in, absolutely have them put those in. You'll pretty much be able to achieve any rate that you want. You won't have to worry about anything that's on the screen because you get whatever rate that you want. But if it is like a triple lumen or a central line, so every 2 inches of burrowed catheter, you're losing 33% of your rapid infusion. So with those triple lumen and central lines, they're pretty much already 6 inches of burrowed catheter, so you kind of lost all your rapid infusion right there. And with those triple lumens, they have all 3 of those ports. People like to use all 3 of those ports. All 3 of those ports go into the same access, so all the other medication that you're giving is also going to slow down your rapid infusion. Even though I'm talking all this crap about IOs and triple lumens, you can absolutely still use them. You're just not going to get that great of rates, the reasons I was explaining. So those single IJs are your best options. But if you're going to be going in through a peripheral, at least get an 18 into your patient. You can infuse through a 20. It's not going to be very fast because it's a 20. So at least get an 18 into them. Bigger the better, but at least an 18. So I was getting, I think it was like 190 with that 18 gauge. Like I said, a bag of blood be gone in like 2-3 minutes. So if you do actually run out of fluid, you don't need to disconnect from the patient to reprime this machine. When I run out of fluid, air is going to get inside here. It's going to detect it. It's going to clamp off this patient line, and no air is going to get inside this patient line. So you won't actually have to disconnect from the patient to reprime this machine. I ran out of fluid. Like I said, air's inside here, detected it, clamped off the patient line. No air is inside this patient line. So you don't need to disconnect from the patient. Just go get your new bag of blood, fluid, whatever you're running. Spike it, let this reservoir fill up a bit. Hit reprime. There's all my air that was inside my tubing. Comes out through here, vents out into the atmosphere, and then once it's done repriming, just reset your rates, go back to what you're doing. So before I worked for Belmont, I used to work in an OR, and then this is all a perfect world scenario, but pretty much you need 3 people with you while this machine's in use. One dealing with the patient, one charting and double checking blood, then someone on this machine. So let's say I was on this machine, what we used to do, we'd have 2 bags of blood hooked up. One open, one closed. I'd see that this one's about to run out, I'd open up this one, respike this one, see this one's about to run out, open up this one, respike this one, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. So you don't gotta keep repriming this machine over and over and over again. This machine has a battery, 30 minutes of battery life. When it's in battery, it's not heating. So I'll say battery, no heating right there. And since it's not heating, the max you can get is 50 mLs per minute. That's just Belmont saying we don't want you to pump your patient full of cold blood because that goes on to a different issue than what you're currently dealing with. So if you got to take them to the OR, you could take this machine with you, get ready to go, plug it back in, your temperature will start to pop up again right there, and then you could just reset your rates and go back to what you were doing. When you're done completely, hit stop, turn the machine off. So if you open up this door while the machine is on, it keeps that patient line clamped off because it thinks it's still connected to the patient. The reason why I'm telling you this, I've seen someone try to rip all this out while the machine was on and they broke that latch. So don't do that. Turn the machine off. All this gets thrown away, red bag because there's blood going through it. Wipe it down with whatever you guys' hospital protocol is. Push this machine to wherever it lives. Keep it plugged in so the battery stays charged, and then go from there. Pretty much everything I said will be on these cards that are going to be attached to the machine. If you ever forget how to set it up, this is how you set it up. This QR code will bring you to a YouTube video of how to set it up, use it, and troubleshoot it. What I was explaining about the catheters, this is a good jumping off point, but if you look at the back of your catheter packaging, it'll tell you the max that you can get with whatever catheter you're using. So that's me more true than this, but like I said, at least get an 18 into your patient if you're going to be using this machine. Compatible fluid list, everything in green, packed red blood cells, FFP, normal saline, plasma light, and albumin. Everything in red is stuff with calcium and platelets and cryo. Platelets and cryo can't go through because of the heater. Then I cannot stress this enough, do not use LR with this machine. LR has calcium, mix it with blood, starts to create clots. Do not shoot clots into your patient. Then pretty much everything else that says inside this one. And then this machine can be used as a fluid warmer as well. And I actually highly recommend using this machine as a fluid warmer before the mass transfusion comes. You don't want the first time you use this machine to be a mass transfusion and everybody's telling you to get the machine up and running. You've never used it before. So if you can use this machine in a lower pressure situation like fluid warming, let's say like 2 bags of blood and 2 bags of fluid before the end of your shift, you might as well use the machine, get your hands on it, and use it in a real life situation before the mass transfusion comes. And then there's a conversion table right here from mLs to minute to mLs per hour. So if you need to set it at a certain rate, you can use this conversion table. Any alarms that you'll get with this machine will be on this page right here. Everything up here you can deal with yourselves. Anything down here, I recommend turning the machine off and turning it back on. If it goes away, great. If it doesn't go away, send it down to clinical engineering. That's all I got.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.